All right, everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you can do me a favor, I just want to do a really quick sound check. If you can let me know that you can hear me, I would appreciate it. I just want to make sure that everyone can both see me and also hear me. Cool. All right. So who's got a deal they want to analyze? Who wants to hop on first? Just do me a favor and type into the chat box before I get going on talking about some additional things. I want to bring on whoever has a deal they want to analyze first. JD, all right, let me bring you in. Give me just 1 second and I will bring you on and we can talk about that appointment that you had. All right, JD, can you hear me? You should be on now as all right, JD, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Just talk.
There we go. Is it good?
You should be on now as all right, JD, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Just talk.
There we go. Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome. Sorry about that. I had my volume down. So you probably were good, a minute ago. So what's going on? Anything good today?
Yeah. I had a visit with a seller yesterday.
Yep.
I'm not. This is a kind of a unique property. It's a home that sits out on its own in kind of a secluded area. The county records and Zillow, they have it, recorded accurately as far as the home itself. I think 2,200 square feet. They got a reasonable Zillow, zet on it. It's kind of matching the area and what's going on in the area.
What is that? Do you have any idea what that is?
Yeah, I'm trying to minimize the screen that you have here to get back to my my data.
Okay.
And not going.
It's okay. Take your time. We've got plenty of time here. So.
All right. Darn it. Exit full screen. There we go. All right. There we are. So Zillow's got the estimate out at 520,414.
Okay.
The tax assessed value is at 435,200, but that was 2016. I think it came in a little higher this year. I think it's up to like 500K this year.
Yeah.
It's a 3-2, and it's got a 2-car garage. I'm sorry, it's a 4-3. I'm sorry about that. This is a different one I was looking at. It's a 4-3.
Uh-huh.
But it sits on 9 acres of both cleared land and forested land.
Yep.
So it's a very nice property. But what is not reflected in the in any of the records is it has a detached 3-car garage with an apartment, a 2-bedroom apartment, 2-bedroom 1-bath apartment above the garage, heated. I mean, it's a nice little apartment.
How does that work where you're at? Is that legal?
Oh, yes. Yeah, it's legal.
Okay.
So for a standard comp, I mean, I could do a standard comp on the house and, working off of 75 ARV, offer price is in the 316 to 320 K with the house is in pretty good shape. The bones are good. It's got brand new roof. It's got brand new heating and air. It's got brand new seating. It's essentially in excellent condition, but it's going to need updating. The kitchen is going to need repairs, and it's the typical. The walls are good. The paint looks good, but obviously it's going to need paint. And I mean, if I was to bring it back to the type of rehab that you guys do on yours, it would be considerable. But I think just for what we're looking at, for the place that it's at, for the amenities that it offers, and I was looking at just a basic rehab with the replacement of the kitchen, the appliances, one bathroom, the master, and possibly a half bath.
Can it be sold in the current? What would happen if you sold it in the current condition? Would it sell in the current condition or no?
I think it would. I think it would sell in the current condition. It is in, obviously it's got to be decluttered. He's been there for 40 years. So it would have to be decluttered to give it a better look, but it's in good enough condition to be moved in. It could be moved right in.
Okay. So that's really good. So I think one thing to just hit on, hold on for a second. First thing is the goal isn't to get the properties to look like what my properties look like finished. We go two ways with all of the properties that we end up purchasing. The first is, if it's in good condition, can we get away with just doing a very, very minor renovation, or not even a renovation at all? Just basically, like you mentioned, decluttering it, making it nicer, not doing anything crazy, and what would it sell for? And in this market, in a lot of cases, you end up making a lot more money doing that than actually going in and doing a full gut renovation and trying to get top dollar. Because where we're at in the current market condition is that in your area, just like mine, people are struggling just to get into these homes, to afford them. And when you do a full gut renovation, in order for you to be able to sell it, in order for you to make money, you have to sell it a lot higher. So let's just say that this estimate here is 520, right? So somewhere around there. If you do a full gut renovation, you might need to get 600 for it to work for you. But if you do barely anything, you might be able to put it on the market for, say, $499, and there might be a ton of demand at the $499 range. So that's just an economic consideration for it. Having said all this, a couple of things I want to hit on. First of all, do you know what his mortgage balance is?
Yeah, it's about $123K.
Okay, so he's got equity. So you are definitely in the game here. Where is he going after the fact?
That's just it. He's downsizing. He's by himself now, so he is looking for a place to move to. He doesn't have one yet, but he's encouraged. After our discussion, he's encouraged to look a little bit harder.
Okay. Can you put him under contract now with it being contingent upon him finding a place, just so that you lock up the deal?
I think I could.
Okay.
I had a pretty good feeling on it after I left. I think I could. If I have, if I can come up with a reasonable offer, I think he would be willing to go that.
Did you guys talk numbers at all?
We talked numbers, but he was not. He was basically honing in on the estimates that he has seen, both from his taxes and the Zillow. And I did not want to broach a low ball on him, because I didn't think that a low ball was realistic in this situation. Because of the comments that you just made, I think I'm reassured in the way that you've approached that. So I didn't want to scare him away with that low ball dollar.
Okay,
but
so what do you
think?
What
Honestly,
do you
I
think
think
you would take?
I think that I think if we're in the mid fours, I think he'd be okay in the mid fours. Honestly,
okay.
If it sounds reasonable to you to in this type of scenario, and I'm not concerned about the how it's turned around as far as making massive dollars on it. I'm not looking for $100,000 on this, but I think I like the way that you approached not having to do the full gut rehab. I would do a what I call, a lipstick update to it to make it appealing. I mean, somebody when they're coming in, it's still an emotional event. So you got to appeal to the sellers. But I think you'd take in the mid-4s without any problem.
Do you have any pictures of it?
I do. But they're in the record. I put a Dropbox link to the pictures.
Okay. What is the
HESS.
Okay, let me just see if I can open this up. And I bet you that's not the only one we have in here. But it is the first. And there's got a
Roger.
few.
Okay.
All right, so that's awesome. Thank you for putting those in. That makes it a million times easier. I wish every single person that went out to these properties did that. Let me just see. All right, so this is a nice house. I mean,
yeah.
So this right here to the right, this 3-car garage thing is not included in public record?
I didn't find that in the public record.
Okay.
And I don't know. It doesn't mean that it wasn't, it's not in there and it's not coded, approved, because it's been there for a while. So it is certainly, it's got to be approved because it is at code. It's in good shape. It's not a hack job.
Okay. Yeah, no, it doesn't look like it at all. I was actually, the way you were describing it, that's what I was kind of worried about. But yeah, this doesn't appear to be anything like that at all. Let me just see. Whip through these.
I do have a couple pictures in there of that suite that's above the garage.
Yeah, so this property really can be made to look nearly perfect for a very small amount of money. I would say
the kitchen concerns me.
What about it?
It's just it's dated. It's very dated. I mean, it's in good shape. It's got granite countertops. He's put granite countertops in it, but it's just dated.
But the problem with this kitchen is minor, meaning all of the stuff that costs money, cabinets, island, granite, is already done. So literally, a kitchen like this, you put in new appliances, which will cost you a few $1,000s. You paint. I mean, I'm assuming this is wallpaper in the back here. The floor looks good.
Yeah.
So I'm not concerned with this kitchen at all in terms of what it will cost to get it, 99% there. So, minor things to this kitchen will make it look 100 times better. It won't make it look a 10 out of 10, but we can probably get this to an 8 out of 10 for about $6,000 to $7,000. And people will buy it. The condition it's in right now, people will definitely buy it. I mean, this is something that any homeowner can do.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a property that if it were to be listed online, like on the MLS, it would not be a problem selling it. What is the overall area like in terms of desirability?
So this is in the country. This is in an area. So I'm in the Northern Virginia, DC area, and people move out to this area so that they don't have to live in the congestion. But so it's a drive back and forth into DC. This is a desirable area. It's only about 6 miles to the city or the town of any your bubble, if you will.
Uh-huh.
So and it's completely secluded. As a matter of fact, it was pretty impressive. I was leaving the property and there was a black bear running across the road. It was totally cool. So this is it's going to be kind of a niche property for people because it's out. Some people like to have people around them, but this one, it's secluded. There's a few houses adjacent to it that are in really good shape. It is, in fact, there's a major a family that butts up to the back that is like 4,000 acres of just land, ranch land. So this property provides a lot of diversity for some folks that would like to put in horses, stable horses and such. So I think it's a desirable area.
So given that it's a little bit off the beaten path, probably more difficult to get to and from where people are going to work, does this type of area sell a little bit slower where you're at?
The properties I saw in there, I can't remember now. They didn't look like they were on the market for a long time.
Yep.
I don't think it'd probably be a month or so. I think, but if for an investor, I think they'd probably wouldn't mind turning around. If I could turn around and wholesale it, that would be. I wouldn't have any concerns about wholesaling it for holding it for a couple months. And in fact, I think he would probably be amiable at holding for a sale until he found a property.
I don't know why my computer's going so slow. I wanted to take a look kind of at the street scene and things like that. Doesn't look like I'm going to get one on Google, but this is running super slow. So what do you think that this property would sell for today if you did absolutely nothing?
I think with all the amenities that it has, I think it would be easily sellable at $400,000.
Okay. But you don't think you think it'll sell for $400,000, but you think he wants more than $400,000.
I do. I think I can convince him, the fees that he would have to he doesn't want to do MLS. He wasn't excited about that. He stated that on my way out. He says, I'm just not interested in an MLS listing and doing all the work for that, and all the baggage that's associated with it. But I think if I explain or worked in the costs that would be associated with the listing and brought it down to that amount, I think he would be acceptable in that cost.
Okay, but that's still not a discount to what it's worth now, right? So I guess like my concern here is that the numbers still aren't working. So if the property, I mean, it seems like to me there's a lot of motivating factors here that lead me to believe he wants to sell to an investor. Going through the pictures of the property, he's got a lot of stuff all over the place. He's not really ready, willing, and able to actually list the home. So he's got a mortgage balance, which is very low. Where he goes next, what does that look like? He's downsizing, but what price range is he moving somewhere else? What are the details there?
So he was actually considering moving further west, which is even a more efficient low cost area. So in the sizes and the types of properties that he's looking at obviously a smaller property, not as much land. But he kind of gave me some mixed signals. He was talking about one place that was kind of like a retirement community where it was, the houses were next to each other. But then he was talking about a ranch style that had maybe a half acre to an acre where he could still tinker with his cars. So I got mixed signals on that.
Okay. So what's the main motivation for moving? Is it to get into a place that is going to require less upkeep? Is it that he wants to put money in his pocket? What is the main motivating factor? The
main motivating factor is he wants less upkeep.
Okay.
He still contracts, and we have similar backgrounds, so I understand what his conditions are. So he's not concerned necessarily about having to have the max dollar.
So if this estimate is 520, why do you think that it's only worth 400 as is?
Because of the locality. It is a bit removed, and I mean it's pavement to get to it. It's all paved roads, but just like you, we still have some rough winters, and you could be locked in back there. The counties don't do that good a job out in those areas for clearing out, so people take that into consideration where they live. And then necessarily the datedness of the property.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only reasons.
Okay. Did you see when you were running the comps, were there any other properties that sold on that street in the past even 2 or 3 years?
Yes, I did. And I'm sorry, I don't have them up on, well, I might be able to pull it up real quick. I've got pretty good connection here, so it might. Or not.
Because I think that's going to be the big thing here. Like anytime I hear secluded, it makes me think that we really need to look a little bit closer, specifically to either this street or a couple of streets over. So I just ran the Zillow, and I think I have the right address here, and this is coming up with his estimate of 578.
Okay. Yeah, that's the property that you have, the picture you have there.
Yeah, this is definitely. So here's the thing. If this property is, okay, let's just say that this property would be worth 578 by putting in 20,000, and you can get it for 400. Now you are talking about a deal. So I think, like, what I know after seeing this, these pictures, is that this is a cookie cutter job. This is something that you could close on, renovate in under 30 days, and put it back on the market. What we need to get a really clear indication on is what the true after repair value is. Okay. Because without that, it's hard to even, guess at what might make sense, because let's just take a look at the numbers really quickly. So let's say, the estimates on average tend to actually be a little bit low once you do the work. So let's just say that this property, is worth 600,000 completed, and you multiply that by 70% to get to 420, and then you put in 20,000, and we can get it at 400. That's a deal. So if that's really the case, and I think it could be potentially. Yeah. Having said that, though, you didn't talk numbers. He talked about what the assessed value was. He talked about what the estimate was. I think we need to get a clearer picture on what the after repair is, but then also we need to start floating some numbers by him, because we don't really want to do, 10 more hours of research without having any indication as to where, you might be. Is there any way to get another face-to-face with him?
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to try and set up a face-to-face with him tomorrow.
Yeah. So I would do some I would definitely set up the face-to-face. I would do some additional research, look really specifically when you're on Zillow, and my computer I don't even know what's going on with it. It's running so slow, because I would pull up Zillow right now and kind of walk you through this. Let me see if I can. It's just running so slow. I don't even know what's going on, but I would look really specifically at, that street and 1 or 2 streets over, because we've got to really pinpoint, the accuracy of what this property is worth. Do you have any local real estate agents that you work with?
Yes.
Did you run run this property by them, or no? I
have not. This was just all developed yesterday, so I haven't reached out to any of them yet.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I don't know. I think it's going to boil down to whether or not he's going to be willing to take something in the 4 range.
Mm-hmm.
450 is going to be too much almost any way that you slice this, unless it's worth closer to 600 without doing anything. Like if it's worth kind of 600 right now, that might work. But if we're talking more like 550 or 575, this is a nice property and it doesn't need a lot. So my gut tells me, without even doing any research and while my computer's freezing, is that we may be a little bit on the low side on what you think the after repair is, and even on the low side of what the property might even be worth to just sell it right now. I'm going to try a different browser because maybe it's Chrome that is killing me.
So Tom, the 3-car garage threw me. How does that play?
Well, it's more value. So like if Zillow and Public Record isn't taking it in, we don't know exactly how much value it is. But that's another point that we didn't even talk about, which is important, is the fact that there's additional. So this is listing here at 3,306 square feet. So what were you seeing on Public Record?
2248.
Okay, so it looks like here this is pulling all that in, right? Would you say that that's another 1,000 square feet?
Yeah. I don't know where that came. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so like it looks like here that this is kind of pulling in the right square footage. Let me just see. Yeah, I mean, like this house was built in 1979, which is another big benefit. I don't know the average age of properties like yours, but
no, that's a reasonable age.
Yeah, right. Let me just see. Just looking at some data here. Yeah, unfortunately my computer's just running way too slow. It's not even allowing me to really do anything. But we're here, we're in this area. I would look at all of these streets surrounding, and the other thing I would look at is what's the lowest property selling for? Like for a 2,000 square foot property, roughly in that little circle there. What is the low end? But like anything else, it's going to boil down to how motivated this person is and what they're going to be willing to take for their house. So you're either going to go one of two ways. It's either going to be that you make them, you say, well, we're going to be, 380 to 420. And he's either going to say, okay, I'm listening. Or he's going to say, well, no, I told you that, the 500, was the Zestimate or whatever. Was he focusing more on the Zestimate or on the appraised value? Do you know?
The appraised.
Yeah. So you might have a deal here, but we're not going to know until we get the definite. I would, is the real estate agent that you're working with, are they somebody that you can trust?
Yes.
So those are the two things I would do. I would immediately talk to them. I might even have the real estate agent go out with you. If they know that area, it might be worthwhile so that they can give you kind of an on the spot type of analysis. So I would do those two things and then start talking, more specific numbers with them. And if you're close on that one, I would definitely lock that up. So are you thinking, if you were to do this deal, would you close on it and then do the renovation and resell it, or were you thinking more wholesale?
I was thinking more wholesale.
Mm-hmm.
But I was thinking more wholesale because of a more extensive renovation.
Oh,
if I was just doing the basics, then
you've got to do the basics on this one.
Then I'd do it myself.
Yeah, this is a perfect first flip. Yeah. Like literally, you can't write this one up any better. I mean, this is the type of flip. I know you don't want to do the work yourself, but it's the type of job you could theoretically do yourself. That's how easy this
the other
project
issue
would be.
is wrapping up funding
Yep.
on it.
Did you reach out, or did I send you the contact information for Peter, who does all the funding for these deals?
No, not yet.
All right. Let me
We'll follow up with that.
Yeah, let me see if I can. I'm gonna make a note to send that to you.
Okay.
Because I would talk to him anyways, so that you can kind of get, an idea of, what you need in order to get the funding lined up ahead of time.
Okay.
And let me I would normally make a note on my computer, but since it's running so slow, I'm going to have to type myself something on my phone. How's everything else going?
Going good. Leads are coming in. Some of them are not necessarily real or leads. They're more just mistakes people make on the computer when they click buttons. But I'm getting some good. I'm getting throughput, which is what I didn't have before. So this is good. I'm happy with the way things are going. Yeah,
I don't get the it was a mistake thing. I mean, if you the ClickFunnels, if you go into the ClickFunnels login and you look at the ad, it's literally, click here to sell your house fast. But I would say at least 20 to 25% of the leads will tell you that. Or they'll say, it was my kid fooling around on my phone or whatever. And I don't know what the answer is. I don't know if they just don't understand it, or if they're lying and they filled out the form and then they regret filling it out, or what the deal is. But it only happens with Facebook for some reason. But we get the Facebook leads for such a good price per lead that it doesn't matter. I mean, not that it doesn't. I wish they were all 100% valid leads that would meet with you, but it's just a numbers game. I mean, how many leads have you gotten so far?
I think 15 or something like that.
And you met
which
with
is more than I've done in a year. I mean, that's more than I've had in a year's worth of direct mailers. So I'm thrilled to death.
Yeah. I mean, like we talked about in the beginning, I mean, mailers work, but the problem with mailers is you could do 1,000 mailers and not get one lead.
No.
Whereas with Facebook, it's just you spend X and you get a lead, and it's very consistent. You're not going to go. Are you pretty much getting a lead every single day or every other day? How often?
Well, 2 of them just popped in last night. And then I'll go 2 or 3 days without one.
Yeah.
So it's erratic.
It's erratic over a couple of days, but it's consistent week to week. So
yes.
You won't go a week without a lead. And you've been on 2 appointments, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I think this is about my second week. So I think we're on track for what we anticipated.
We're right on track. And this particular case, I mean, I would definitely like to see you do this deal for sure. This has definitely got the potential to be a good one. It's a good first deal if you can pull it all off. But like every other face-to-face appointment, it's going to boil down to how motivated this person is, and if they are, ready to sell to an investor. I would definitely try to be ready, though, to lock this one up on the second meeting if you can. And I think the key here is if he is willing to sell to an investor, the key here is you've got to stress that one of the huge benefits of selling to an investor is that you'll wait as long as it takes. So
he likes that. He does like that, and I did stress that.
Yeah, exactly. And I would just keep hitting on that point, because I think compared to listing it, number one, he doesn't want to get this house ready. Even though it's a small renovation, for the typical homeowner, there's a lot that needs to be done here. And he can't show it in the condition it's in. So he really can't list it today. So he doesn't want to do that. He can't do it. And he's got this thing about moving that he doesn't know where he's going or how long he's going to take. So for a traditional buyer, I mean, he's going to figure out, he's going to have a set moving date. And I don't think he wants that. So I think for this particular person, he's got equity, he's downsizing. He fixed the mold of every single typical investment seller, but that doesn't mean he's going to end up taking an investment offer. But all of kind of the check boxes that we want to check off are definitely there.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a good one. I mean, I think you've got like at least a 50-50 shot on this one, and that's really in 2 weeks. That's good. And
I would look forward to talking with Pete and figure out what the funding, what we can do with locking up funding, and that will kind of that'll direct me in how I approach it as well. I agree. Cool. I love this deal. This is great. I want to lock it in.
And so out of the other leads, I know besides the invalid ones, like, do you have anybody that you're currently talking to that might be another appointment?
Nothing that I think is a wholesale. I've got a couple folks that they're kind of in the same boat as far as the house values up there, but they don't have as much equity in this, and they're not necessarily, from my initial discussions with them, looking at a discounted price. So, but I've got a couple. So I'm doing also other lead generation side, not just from your online isn't working, and I'm generating some leads there that I think I have some pretty good opportunities. People want, they've investors themselves, they're renters, and they're getting ready to get out of their investments. And so they're going to start peeling them off a little bit one at a time. So I've got a couple strategies I'm trying to add to my approach, lease options and such. So I'm trying to play around with a little bit, some of those. Okay.
Good deal. All right. Well, let me know if you need anything else. Do you have any other questions before I pull you off?
No, this is good. I appreciate it, Tom. This is excellent. Just fire me over the contact for Pete. I'll follow up with him, and I'll schedule a follow up with the gentleman tomorrow, hopefully, or at least this weekend, and see what I can lock up.
Okay. Awesome. It was nice talking to you. Let me know if you need anything else.
All right, Tom. Thanks. I'm going to peel off myself.
All right. Thank you. All right, guys, we got a bunch of other people on the line. I am more than happy to do more deal analysis if you guys want. So if anybody does want to jump on, just again, type into the chat box. I'll bring you on. We can talk about the deals that you're currently working on the face-to-face appointments that you're going on, or it doesn't have to necessarily be an appointment that we talk about. We can go into specifics about really anything else, anything that you need help with. John Snyder, if you're listening, did Kerry reach out to you on the Mojo dialing yet? Do me a favor, just type into the chat box just so I know what the next steps are, because I want to make sure that you're getting up and running on the dialing ASAP. And for everybody else who's on, just let me know if you need anything else. I don't really have a lot specifically else to cover today. This was a good deal to analyze. I really like this deal a lot. But again, it's going to boil down to whether or not someone is ready, willing, and able to take an investment offer. But the more of these, and JD was the one who went on this appointment in Northern Virginia, the more of these that he gets, the higher likelihood he has of getting a deal that ends up selling to an investor. So if you guys have anything else or you need anything else, let me know. And I will see everybody on this call next week. So this Thursday at 9 o'clock meeting is specifically just deal valuation, working on the face-to-face seller appointments and analyzing whether or not it's a good deal. But we do have training each and every day, quite literally. So if you go to, let me just make sure I get the URL right. Man, my computer is just killing me today. Hold on, let me just pull this up on the screen if I can. Drag this over, www.oceancityweeklytraining.com. You can see our full trainings calendar. We have training each and every day. Some days we have multiple training sessions. So when you go to www.oceancityweekly training right there, it'll show you all of the meetings we have each and every week. So literally, Monday we have 2 meetings. Tuesday we have 2 meetings. Wednesday we have 2 meetings. Thursday we have this meeting. Friday we've got 2 meetings. Monday through Friday we've got the Q&A on questionsfortom.com, the Facebook page. So we can get answers to any questions that you have. We're going to actually be adding to this calendar, believe it or not, because we want to make sure that on a weekly basis we're literally hitting on every single topic that everybody needs to know about real estate investing. And we want to make sure we get the answers to your questions immediately. So, Trip, I would like Peter's info for the funding if possible. I will definitely send that out. He's definitely a good person to get in contact with. That, probably makes sense for you to talk to him now before you've got a deal in the works. John, thank you. If you need anything else, I want to make sure that you're up and running. Kevin's a good friend of mine, so we want to make sure that you're dialing. We've got all the records for you. We've got all the records for you to call. And John, one more thing. Are you in the group.me for the Mojo training, the Mojo group? Okay. Awesome, man. So I'm looking forward to getting you started. If you need anything from me, don't hesitate to reach out to me directly. We want to get you started ASAP. So thank you, everybody, for jumping on. Just let me know what I can help you with, and we'll go from there. Thank you.